Michael, back to Giles, gets a block. Giles with another great move. Giles slips a tackle. Giles still on his feet, past the 20. Oh, there goes Giles. That's a touchdown. Ploys play action. Fade looking for Joe Key. Joe Key spins around. He hauls it in with one hand. Touchdown Fire. Oh, what a play by Joe Key. 3rd and 8 at the 41. Wiggins drops back, taking a shot down the field, 2-on-1. This pass is intercepted. It's Ian Johnny, the safety, and he's got some room to work with. Now he cuts to the near side of the field, looking for some blockers. Ian Johnny's got some space, and he's brought down shy of the 40-yard line. 3rd down and 9. At the 20. Jackson looking to throw, bringing some pressure from his left, and down he goes. There he is, right on cue. Brady Nolan with his first sack of the night. 1st and 10. Michael, play action. He's going to take a shot. Looking for Joe Key. He makes the catch. Joe Key brought down close to the goal line. They'll mark him around the 10. Joe McGrath trying to make it a 2-score game. Bit of a high snap, but a good hold. Kick from McGrath on a line. It is good! What a kick from Joel McGrath. And Southeastern University will head into the half with a 10-0 lead. Alex, what a big play right there for McGrath. Jaquit Childs, who's the starting running back, was the running back on the first drive. Now it's Curtis Kimmons, who we raved about pregame, having one of the best rushing seasons in program history. Here is Curtis Kimmons with a stiff arm out to the far side. Kimmons takes a huge hit. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
And of course, we also talked about this is a big day for Southeastern as a university, but the energy right now seems to be on that Ave Maria side. They put together a couple of good plays, a really big tackle there on the very physical Curtis Kimmons, and the energy looking like it's on Ave's side as of this very moment.
Here is Kimmons again, gets a couple of nice blocks and a good run for Curtis Kimmons, who entering in has over 650 yards on the ground and 13 touchdowns. He is 3rd in the Sun Conference in rushing yards, tied for 2nd in TDs. For a 3rd straight time, they go to Kimmons, who lowers the shoulder inside of the 30-yard line for 2nd down.
Yeah, and they're just going to continue to feed Kimmons, because we'll do some quick math here. Southeastern, 26 rushing touchdowns on the year. Curtis Kimmons has half of the team's rushing touchdowns. He has just been such a key factor in the success for the Fire this year.
They had a rushing score in the loss against Kaiser a week ago. 3.5 to play in the first quarter. Joe Key, who is the leading receiver for the Fire, lined up on the near side, had a big play in that game on a deep ball from Nate Michael. 300 receiving yards for Key. 2nd and 5. Michael to Alex Reyes, who makes the catch. Reyes slips a tackle, and Alex Reyes gets a 1st down. Now, he's been a little bit quiet in the second half of this season, but Alex Reyes getting some extra playing time over the last couple of games. Nice big play there for him.
That was a little bit of a risky throw, too, from Michael into traffic there. It was Rashad Orr who was coming up on that one. Looked like if he got a good enough angle, might have been able to pick that one off, but risky throw, high risk, high reward, pays off for the Fire.
So Southeastern University, who has been one of the best red zone teams in all of the NAIA, are at the 19-yard line. Jones in motion, play action pass incomplete. Joe Key had a slight step on the defensive back, DJ Van Horn, but they can't connect. Southeastern University, this is how good the Fire have been in the red zone. They've been into the red zone 26 times this year, not including right now, and they've scored in 93% of the time. They have been excellent when they get inside the 20. And again, that's 4th best in the NAIA. Michael on 2nd and 10. Michael spinning away, gets a block from Kimmons, and there goes Nate Michael, who tucks it and goes out of bounds inside of the 10-yard line. And it should be good enough for a first down.
This is probably the furthest into a game it's taken for us to see Michael finally use his legs successfully. We saw him try a couple of times back in their first drive, but that defense for Ave Maria was all over it. This time a little bit of a misdirection for Michael on the play action, and it worked out perfectly. And another first down for Southeastern puts them in 1st and goal.
And a good welcome back as well to Dathan Davis, who checks into the game. Has not been seen since week 4 after he exited the game with an injury. Camonte Grimes also into the game as well. And there's a bunch formation on the far side. Michael empty, surveying, pressure coming, and Nate Michael is sacked. Oh, another big play for Ave Maria on the blitz. The safety, Brian Holmes, gets him.
Huge play for Ave, a little bit of a momentum killer for Southeastern. Thankfully, they still are within that red zone, but they're backed up all the way almost to the 20 now. So they're going to have a long way to go here with just a couple of tries left. They may even have to settle for 3 if they can't continue to find the right pieces.
Brian Holmes, the best ball hawk in the Sun Conference, 6 interceptions, by far leads anybody else in the conference in that total. 2nd and 18. And it's 2nd and goal. They insert Giles back in. Michael has to step up and roll again. Now he throws towards the end zone, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Gyrenes, and heading down the far sideline with a big return as Michael is intercepted. A late flag comes out as well, but a huge mistake from quarterback Nate Michael.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a panicked throw. Granted, it was 2nd and 18, but worst case, you just roll out of bounds, get a couple of yards, make it 3rd and 15. Instead, he gives that one up, and that's exactly who I was talking about earlier, Rashad Orr, who almost had a pick earlier on one of Michael's passes, and he finally finds it here.
Rashad Orr's had a heck of a season as well, coming in 3 interceptions, 3.5 tackles for loss. He's forced a fumble, and he's recovered a fumble as well. A sloppy offensive first quarter for both sides. And there's the first turnover of the game. When you and I talked to head coach Adam Waugh during the preseason, we went position by position for the Fire. Jaquette Giles, who had a monster game in September, gets his first handoff of the game, and he's got a first down. When we went position by position, wide receiver was an area that we circled because there was a lot of new names. And when we asked for an update on his opinion now towards the end of the season, he said his favorite thing about this receiving core is any given Saturday, any one of these receivers can take over. Joe Key has a 100-yard game this year. Camonte Grimes had a game with 95 receiving yards. Trey McClellan had a good game against Warner where he had 4 catches for 80 yards. Michael's going to take a shot, looking for Pomales, and he drops it in the bucket again. And now today, it's David Pomales who's made 3 big plays here in the first quarter.
Yeah, he is pushing this offense forward. Once again, he is blowing through those secondaries. They're kind of close, but he's got a good couple of feet of separation just about on all 3 of those catches.
Fire working quickly, and they are up shy of the 30-yard line at 32 of the Eagles. So another deep ball to David Pomales. What a first quarter for him. Under 4 to play in the first, and here is Jaquette Giles. And Giles, the blocks aren't there for him, and he maybe gets a yard. And that's where they're going to mark it right now. A gain of 1 to bring up 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, you saw Giles wanted to cut up through that middle there, but that defensive line for Reinhardt has just been so good all season. They're continuing to push through that offensive line for Southeastern and forced Giles to go to that outside, but they were on him all day.
Southeastern had 1 100-yard receiver this season, and that was Joe Key, who had a 100-yard game on 7 receptions against Thomas, and the Fire's 5th game of the season, only their 2nd conference game. David Pomales has 112 receiving yards on 3 catches in the first quarter. And they're going to go right back to him again, and Pomales breaks another tackle, and he's inside of the 25-yard line to bring up a 3rd down and short. Fire bringing in a couple new receivers as well. Trey McClellan checks into the game after he missed the regular season finale against Ave Maria. Dathan Davis, the big receiver, in there as well. A little extra help on the line from tight end Lucas Williamson. 3rd down and 1. Handoff to Jaquette Giles, who lowers his helmet and barrels through for a first down. And into the red zone go the Fire.
Great short run there from Giles. Normally we see Curtis Kimmons in one of those situations. He's a little bit more of a physical runner and able to break through a couple of those tackles. But Giles a little bit sneakier and able to get that first down for the Fire.
Giles was the leading rusher between both teams in that game in September. Had 127 yards on 12 carries and a pair of scores. First and 10. They'll swing it out to Giles. Gets a block from Lucas Williamson. Giles again lowers his shoulder, and he's going to be real close to that first down marker on the far side.
Yeah, that Lucas Williams block right there, huge for the advancement of that drive. Able to get them just a yard-ish short of that first down. And once again, this Fire offense moving well, a little bit slower on this drive here in terms of how far they're, or the time on the clock, excuse me, but they're still working real well here.
It'll be second down and a yard to go at the 10. Up the middle again on a handoff, and that's easily good enough for a first down. It'll bring up first down and goal. A rush of 6. Jaquette Giles continues his impressive season, not only against the Eagles, but in total, one of the best rushers in the Sun Conference with over 500 yards, and he checks out of the game, and back in goes Curtis Kimmons, who is a danger inside of the 10-yard line. Kimmons with 14 rushing touchdowns. Joe Key in motion. Michael's going to keep it himself. Getting around the end, and into the end zone goes Nate Michael. 2 drives and 2 touchdowns for Southeastern.
Yeah, that was the first rush we saw from Michael. We were starting to think for a second he was just going to stay in that pocket all game long and keep dropping those passes like he did. But Reinhardt possibly forgetting that Michael's just as dangerous of a runner as Giles and Kimmons, as there he goes for 6.
Conference play is in full swing from Victory Field. It's the second consecutive home game for Southeastern University as they welcome in Thomas University. The Nighthawks searching for their first win of 2025. The Fire, they're trying to bounce back after their first loss of the season last week, so a lot to play for as we've reached the halfway point of the 2025 season. He's Alex Monroe. I'm Adam Glover. So happy you can join us here on the Urban Edge Network. And Alex, like I said, first loss of the year for Southeastern, their first loss since last November, but an opportunity to get back on track. How do they get back on track after a pretty tough loss a week ago?
Yeah, first and foremost, penalties have been killing Southeastern all season long. So far, 29 penalties equating to 273 yards worth. That just got to be cleaned up. The other thing they got to do is use the air game more. They have 4 passing touchdowns to 12 rushing touchdowns. If they can get that air game going a little bit more and a little bit more consistent, we should start seeing some more success.
Well, one positive of last week and of all season long so far has been the defense. They played really well. Last week, 4 turnovers, and there's so many great guys on the defensive side of the ball, but one guy that's really showing out, not just in the Sun Conference, but in all of the NAIA, Thomas Ibrahim.
Yeah, leading the Sun Conference right now with 6.5 sacks to his name, second in the entire country. You also have names like Ian Jolly, Michael Shaw, a lot of talent there defensively. Southeastern definitely a strong point for them.
Southeastern, they're searching for that 4th win of the year. We'll talk a little bit more about the Nighthawks when we get a little closer to kickoff. For now, though, the pregame festivities are still going on, so let's take it down to the field as we have the national anthem as well as the team introductions coming up here in just a little bit. Series, and from Victory Field for the first time ever, Southeastern University hosting a playoff game, only the 3rd time in their program history. They are in the playoffs in general, and kind of poetic, they're playing a team that they've faced now 4 times, including today, over the last 3 years, the Reinhardt Eagles. Both teams finishing the season off playing some of their best football. The Fire won 5 of their last 6. Reinhardt, winners of 6 straights to take the Appalachian Athletic Conference. About as good of a matchup as you can have in the opening round. He's Alex Monroe. I'm Adam Glover. So happy you can join us today. A good 1 p.m. warm start here in Lakeland, Florida. And Alex, these two teams matched up very well. Very similar defense is playing really well, but the heart and soul of both of these programs is that rushing attack.
Yeah, the run game is going to be very important for both sides, and for both sides on the defensive end, stopping the run game is going to be crucial. You have the third best running offense in the entire league in Reinhardt. Southeastern, the fourth best defense in points allowed per game with just 14 points allowed per game. So if both of these teams can make stops on defense, they'll have some success.
It is a major milestone here for both of these teams, but really the Fire, again, that first home playoff game. We talked to head coach Adam Law a little earlier on this week, and he made it clear that this should be an expectation every single year, Alex, and he made it clear as well to his team that the goal should not be to just make the playoffs.
Yeah, of course, pushing forward is going to be the big thing, but this is, of course, the biggest game right here in front of them. The big thing that Adam Wass said is he wanted to keep it consistent in the practice and preparation for this week. Nothing changed. It's just another game for them. This one just means a little bit more.
He did say, though, that this is a very different Reinhardt team, and you have to just throw away everything that happened over the last 3 years and play it from scratch. No secrets, as both of these teams truly know each other pretty well for two teams that don't play in the same conference. For right now, we still have about 10 minutes before kickoff at Victory Field, so it's time to take it down to the field as we have the national anthem and the introductions coming up in just a few minutes.